racing?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
I think as I guess maybe the hospital that bought it. I don't know.
Probably.
I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Oh,
Because
okay.
doesn't Bon Secure, somebody owns it.
Someone does, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and there was
Because it was
the
Bon
big-
Secours Sports Club before
Yeah,
something
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, and there
But
was
all
like the big
of them
change.
are ACAC. Like if you go around town, they're all.
They're all
It's not just that one. It's
Wow.
all of them. Yeah.
Well, and there was like the big change from Bon Secours to Prisma, or was it Prisma to Bon Secours?
They're separate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And-
St. Francis to Bon
Okay.
Secours.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right. And then you can't forget the infamous Bilo Center being changed to
That's exactly right.
the Bon Secours Wellness
Center.
Arena.
And now it's the Well.
Yeah. Did you know that? 'Cause
No.
How
What?
long have you?
Okay. Like 5-ish years. Relax.
Okay.
It was
well,
Bilo
I
a
honestly didn't know.
long
I didn't
So
know if it was
Bilo, and then it changed to.
It
It used to be the Bilo Center.
Yeah.
So when it first, a long time ago, there was another one. They're getting ready to rebuild on the site. It used to be the Greenville.
There we go. You're good. I just need to move it closer.
Greenville Memorial Auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's across the street, and then they built that one, and it was the Bilo Center, and then
You don't have to be quieter now.
No, I'm thinking.
So then it's now. Do they just call it the Well now?
The Well. That's all it is. The Well.
the well. It never runs dry.
Okay.
Now, I saw
Hallelujah.
Snoop Dogg at the Well.
You saw Snoop Dogg at the Well?
Snoop Dogg
Doggy
at the
Dog.
well.
Was he doing his little?
Was cripping it?
He is so funny. He makes me smile. All right, friends. Well, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off here. Welcome to the Daily Reps. Today we've got Cary Moore on the episode. I'm super pumped to have Cary. I have the privilege of working out with Cary at the 12 o'clock class sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Cary is a father, a husband. A lot of his family works out here or has worked out here, businessmen. And you've been working out at the gym for about 7 years now.
About
Wow.
7 years. Yep.
So
Yep.
welcome on to the podcast.
No, thank you. I'm excited to be
Welcome
here.
to have you, sir. Thank you for being here.
having me. Yep,
And
wonderful.
Joel, might I say, it's so nice to have you back on this week as well.
Not just because this was easier.
Yeah,
Just like,
the setup was definitely easier.
yeah, my ceiling leaked, so I was dealing with that. Sorry.
Yeah, fun
stuff.
So, Cary,
Yes.
thank you so much for coming on today.
No, thank you. I appreciate you
Are you
having me.
excited?
I am.
So
This is cool.
excited.
Is this your first podcast?
It is my first podcast, but I have to tell you a story. So I'm sure somewhere in Budapest, Richard Kornacki might be listening to this.
Richard, shout out, Richard.
Shout out to Richard. And so back during COVID, Richard and I had talked about doing a podcast for the content was going to be way different than what you guys are doing here. But so we bought all the equipment and we were ready to go, and then we just never did it because Richard and Megan got pregnant, and so
Oh, yeah.
so I was like, I can't spend the time to do it. We were going to do it in the garage and everything. So whenever he sees this one goes out to him.
What was your content going to consist of?
It was going to be called Barbells and Brews.
Ooh, I like that. I
Barbells
like
and
that.
brews.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
I can remember
That's a fun podcast.
specifically during the COVID times, y'all making some pretty funny videos.
That was how it all started.
That- and
so
that
we
was
started
kind of
doing,
the-
and Joel, you weren't here yet, but we did like pseudo wrestling videos,
Ooh.
like call outs for
Yeah.
They
the
would call
open.
each other out. It was so
Yeah.
funny.
And so
Yeah.
Rich. So I'm almost 52, so I'm from the Ric Flair era of wrestling. Richard's a little bit younger, so he was more like The Rock and Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where the videos originated from, and
so
we'd put them
funny.
out on the Five Forks website, and put them out. In fact, I'll send some out.
Yeah, we should have them
Please
playing
do,
up here.
because we will put
Playing around
them.
here.
Oh, I definitely.
Anyhow, we had
them.
fun with that. So,
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, Cary, winding it back a little bit,
Sure.
tell us: Are you from the Greenville area?
I am. I grew up.
Really?
I grew up in Taylor's.
Oh,
born and
Taylor's.
raised.
Oh, Taylor's.
So that's exactly right. And my mother's from Gurr.
Grr, there we go,
Gurr.
baby.
Yeah,
Yep.
So classic old time Gurr.
Old time
Old
Grr.
time Gurr.
Down around Appalach Baptist Church, if you're familiar with that.
Wow.
area down here. But anyways, which is an old mill type village where it used to be. But
Yep.
yeah, I grew up here. I went to Wade Hampton High School.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then from there, I went to Clemson University.
Shout out.
And when I got done there, I moved to, I went to work for a company called Sunoco Products, which is based in Hartsville, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And they moved me to, I was getting out of school, and I had couple job offers around here. And growing up, we never really went a lot of places. I mean,
Right.
we took a couple of vacations here and there, but nothing significant. And I never lived anywhere but here. And so I'm an only child. And when I was which probably explains a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say it does explain a lot. Yeah.
But when I had an opportunity to go elsewhere, Sunoco gave me an offer to go to work in Orlando, Florida.
Oh,
And
cool.
When I was coming out of college, I was unattached, didn't have a girlfriend or anything like that, single guy, and I was 23 years old.
Oh, you're like, heck
Orlando
yeah.
sounds like a great place to go.
Hello, Florida.
Yeah, so they moved me there, and I spent about 16, 18 months there, and then I had an opportunity to get promoted, and they moved me to Hanover, Pennsylvania, which is
two different ends of the East Coast.
Very different ends, and this old Southern guy had never been north of the Mason-Dixon line before that happened. And, I'm sure I have a little bit of a Southern accent now, but I had a really, really big one. And Nicole can tell you that story sometime.
That's so funny.
When I showed up in Hanover, it's a small town of note. That's where Utz Pretzels and Snyder's Pretzels are from, for anybody who doesn't know. But I showed up there, town of about, less than 50,000 people. And when I would go out and about, single guy that lived in town, trying to get myself immersed in the community, and working in a manufacturing facility. So we worked long hours, and I'd go to a local pub or local restaurant or whatever, and try to be friendly, and I'd say something to somebody that would be like sitting close to me, and they would hear me speak, and they would literally turn away from me and wouldn't talk to me anymore. And it's like, come on.
So mean.
Rude.
So anyhow,
that is how the North is. Sorry.
All that being said, I moved to Hanover, Pennsylvania. That's where I met Nicole. So
wow.
I met Nicole, my wife, and so there's a long story behind that. It's almost like our paths as we got to know each other. We were dating, and we learned about where we had been in places. It was almost like God was trying to put us together because we were in very close proximity to each other.
So fun.
At similar times, many times.
That's crazy.
And then we end up in Hanover together, and we knew each other for a little while before we ended up starting to date and getting married. And so that's where we met, and then we lived there for. I was there for about 5 or 6 years. Then we lived in kind of around the Harrisburg area for a short period of time, and then we lived in the Lehigh Valley for 2 years, just in a little tiny part of the Lehigh Valley, just south of Allentown.
Yeah. Quakertown?
Actually, not too far away. It was a little town called Macungie.
Yeah.
Which is right off of Route 100, right down from all the distribution centers and whatnot. And so
my parents lived in Red Hill, Allentown, Zionsville for a bit until moving back down. So I've been all around King of Prussia, Lancaster. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it was a cool place. We liked it up there. I mean, the winters were a lot rougher than they are here, but they weren't as bad as they are further north.
Right.
But it was fun. We made a lot of good friends there. The people were really nice in that area, and that was kind of how we really got started as a family. And then I had an opportunity in 2007 to transition away from what I was doing at Sunoco, and that opportunity gave me a chance to move back here.
Cool.
And so we moved back here in 2007, and with the exception of a little short stint in Charlotte, we've been here ever since. And so,
Is Nicole's family from Greenville originally?
No, she's born and raised in that Hanover, Pennsylvania area.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
she's
about to
from
say.
a little town called. She was born in a little town called Littlestown, which is kind of right between
So cute.
right between Hanover and Gettysburg.
Yep.
Okay.
So when people ask where she's from, if they don't know Hanover, typically we tell them Gettysburg. And everybody knows where Gettysburg is. But of note, that's another kind of cool little story about us from a historical standpoint. The church that Nicole and I got married in, we got married in Gettysburg First Pres, which was the church that Abraham Lincoln went to after he delivered the Gettysburg Address.
That's so cool.
And there's a Lincoln pew in the church.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And it's also the same church that Dwight Eisenhower was a member of when he left the presidency and moved to Gettysburg to reside after he left
So
the White
much
House.
cool history.
So it's really cool. And of course, there's a lot of stuff up there and, the battlefield and everything. But anyhow, that's kind of a
How did she
cool
feel
thing.
about moving down to the South?
Initially, it wasn't the just textbook easy move. She's always been very, very supportive of all the harebrained stuff that I come up with, and most of it's kind of been kind of tame. And the move here was tame. It wasn't a really big stretch of an opportunity. But the big thing I think at the time was that Jonah, my oldest, who he just turned 30 this year, but he was going into the 6th grade, and so that's a very difficult time to move someone.
To be moving.
And so my parents were here. My dad's here, and so that was Jonah had a very good close relationship with them, and so there was that piece which was exciting.
That's good.
And so, but initially it was a big change. I mean, you're moving to a new place, middle of the 6th grade, which is a very influential. It's a tough time for kids anyway. And so it was. We had our challenges as everybody does when they move at first, but everybody settled in. And frankly, when we moved to Charlotte, the intent was that we probably were going to go up there and that was just going to be a reload. Like we've been here 6 years, and just out of a sheer just timing of everything. When we bought our house here, it was before the housing recession, and so when we moved to Charlotte, we were going to lose a lot of money on our house. So we decided to keep it when we moved up there. And when we moved up, it wasn't as easy of a transition. And Nicole started selling real estate. And we made a decision once we were up there that we thought we'd like it to be able to move back here. We had some flexibility. So we moved back here.
Daily Reps is brought to you by Drift. Drift combines nature's most powerful relaxation botanicals and alcohol-free beverages that help you unwind, recover, and sleep deeply. We're building a new kind of drinking culture, one rooted in clarity, calm, and connection. Drift helps you unwind without the alcohol and without slowing down your goals. Visit enjoydrift.com or our very own Gym Fridge for that first cool, relaxing sip to drift into relaxation.
And we really don't have any intention of leaving again. I mean, this is home, and Jonah's very well settled here with his career. He owns his own home, and he's got a life around. And then our 13-year-old and 11-year-old have been here basically their whole lives. Beckett was born in Charlotte, but we moved back here when she was less than a year old, really.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this is where it all is. So,
yeah.
So we love it here, and Nicole loves it here too. So
you're mentioning your kids. Let's take a second and brag on them a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just working out with you at noon, I know like how much you truly like love and admire your family, and it makes me happy to see you light up when you talk about your kiddos and what they're into. So we'll start with Jonah.
Yeah, let's start with Jonah.
I did know. I did not know he was your kid until like 2 weeks ago.
There's a little age gap.
A little bit of an age gap, right?
I was like, well, no, it's because when I thought he was engaged or whatever, and I remember your wife was like, I should know first, and then I made that connection of like,
that's why you should know.
Mom
first.
and Dad, yep.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's funny. That's happened a few times, Joel. So I don't feel bad because there's other coaches that didn't know us. Came after we got here and it's been the same conversation. Oh, Jonah is your son. But so Jonah first. Jonah is, like I said, he turned 30 this year.
Yeah,
thank you. And he so he's in the financial industry. Jonah's got. Has done very well, but he was a lacrosse player, which I think is a cool thing. Sport that I certainly didn't know anything about growing up here. And he was quite accomplished, and he did that all through high school. So we got our first taste of what travel sports were like by following him around playing lacrosse. Because when he was playing in 07 to or 08 to 10 or 12 or whenever, I guess he graduated in 12 from high school.
Where did he go to high school at?
He went to Malden.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Malden High School. Yeah. And, lacrosse was just really kind of getting started here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so in order for him to be able to play kind of at a similar level to what he played up in Pennsylvania, he played on a local travel team and then a travel team out of Florida. And so we spent our summers while he was playing lacrosse going up and down the East Coast. They didn't really have lacrosse tournaments, many of them anyway, in the upstate. So we're going from Florida to Maryland and New York and all. So cool. We got a little bit of taste of it there. But he went to UNC Charlotte for his undergrad and then got out and started selling software for a few years.
Nice.
And just killed it and decided he wanted to do something else. So he during COVID, he elected to go back and get an MBA. And so he went to Clemson and got his MBA, finished that last year. and now he's in the financial services industry. He's been doing that for a couple of years. Got all kinds of cool certifications that I know nothing about, but he seems to be doing quite well. He's got a really cool girlfriend that we like a lot, and they seem to have a really good relationship.
That's
and
sweet.
Nice.
he's really doing well. So we're really, really proud of him.
Does he give you
That's so
financial
cool.
advice?
If
Does
we
he try
ask for
to?
it, he does not try to. He
Like you guys order food out and he goes, again? Really again?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're ordering more food?
yeah. He doesn't quite give us the Dave Ramsey treatment. That,
Where are your envelopes?
Yeah. But he actually is not. I tell you what he does. He does ask appropriately if we can help connect him to the right people. But he's very savvy, and Jonah's a very good. I'm going to call him a good salesperson, not in a used car salesperson kind of way.
Sleazy, yeah.
He's a very thoughtful, solution oriented type person, and he really thinks about what is going to make people's lives better.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
think the field he's gone into it really fits him well, and I think he'll do well in it.
Love
because he really does care about people. So
Yeah.
that's big.
I will say, even just in my experiences with either like working out beside him or coaching him in some classes before, he seems like such a level-headed, like head down, hardworking, get the job done,
Gets it from his dad.
kind person. So
Well,
that's cool.
he's very kind, but don't confuse his niceness for a lack of competitiveness. 'Cause
Okay.
He is a fierce competitor.
Really?
yeah.
Really?
And so we that was the other thing. I mean, this is a kind of a gym thing. It's just what it is. One of the things that was really cool for me about the CrossFit community when we got started in it was that as he joined, being in my early 50s and late 40s then, with the age gap, there's not a lot of things you can do athletically together, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not, and I'm not a lacrosse player, so it's not like I was going to go grab a lacrosse stick and all of a sudden just naturally be good at that, right? I was a baseball player and a basketball player. And so, but this was something that we could do together.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool because Jonah and I competed in a lot of places together. We podiumed a couple of times
That's so
together.
cool.
Shout out.
And that was awesome.
Right, that's
because
goals.
that's something
Yeah.
that,
What are
you
some
don't
of the
see.
favorite competitions that you guys did together?
Well, the one that was the coolest for me, I don't know what Jonah would say, but the one that was the coolest for me, there was this 1-year competition that was done at the old, it was CrossFit Telestai in Anderson, which I don't know what they're called now.
Yeah.
But they did it at the old TL Hanna football field.
Uh-huh.
And that was the one Jonah and I, we came in second. But the thing that was cool about it for me was the last workout that we did was length of the football field. You had to go on the way down. Every 10 yards, one team member had to, I think it was just a farmer's carry down of 2 dumbbells. And when you got to the 10 or 20 yard line, I can't remember, but whatever the increment was, you had to stop and do like 5 dumbbell thrusters.
Whew.
The other member had to
Grip of
bear
the
crawl the 20
whole time.
yards.
Yeah.
And then you rested while they did that. And then you switched and you did it all the way to the goal line. But when you got to the goal line, you had to turn around and you had to both 100-yard bear crawl back for the thing. Now, the thing that's so funny about it, there's a video of this too, because somebody videotaped it.
Send it.
I will, because it's really kind of funny. And it's a classic old bear, young bear type of thing, because Jonah can bear crawl like a gazelle. Like,
That's
he
so
just
funny.
gallops. He's like, and he's flying. And so when we get to the end, we're sitting there because you have to wait on. There might have even been like a break. I can't remember. There was some reason when we were at the end, or maybe it was at the beginning. The judge was sitting there talking to us, and he said, "Now look, when you do the bear crawl back, I've been watching this because we were not in the first heat that went." He said, "You can't let the person in front. You can't get too far ahead. You have to let the person behind be able to see you, because if they don't see the person in front of you, they'll lose ground, and it's almost like you get defeated."
Right.
Yeah.
So you just slow down and you'll stop and you'll be like, ugh. So Jonah would gallop up and stop and then wait on me. And so I can't bear crawl that fast. Now,
That's so funny.
I'll dig in and go nonstop.
Yeah.
But
You're
so
just-
I just went vroom, 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 and I went the whole time. And the video is of Jonah galloping up, stopping and turning around, and he's like, come on.
I can't wait to see this.
We did the bear crawl faster than anybody in any division.
Oh, wow.
That was the one thing that we won, and that was what put us on the podium.
Gosh, that's hilarious.
It was fun. But we've done that one. We've done Freedom Games a couple of times together.
That's an amazing competition.
And we really enjoyed that one. And then we did, actually Tyler did one with us. I don't know if you remember that. We did a 4-man over in Spartanburg. It was
Crash.
Jonah and Tyler and myself and Chris Simpson.
Yep.
And we won that one for our division. And so it was cool. And I hadn't done a lot in that arena since then, but it was a lot of fun. So that was.
And then you've
cool
got your 2 daughters.
No, one daughter. Yeah, so my middle one is Aiden. He's a 13-year-old 8th grader, and he goes to Charlestown Center School. He's very gifted academically. He's done quite well in that arena, and he won that genetic lottery, I guess. Jonah's very smart too. I'm not losing sight of that, but Jonah kind of got the well-rounded piece. He got all of it. And Aiden's a baseball player. That's his big thing. He loves to do that, and so I coach his travel baseball team. That's something I like to do. It's been able to keep me involved. It's baseball is a game that I grew up playing from the time I was little on. I love it. I've always loved the game, and the cool thing about it is that I've had the opportunity to get involved with that with them, and it keeps me involved in the game. I think it's fun because I get to do stuff, but it's also cool to be able to be a part of that to an extent. That only lasts so long because there comes a point to where, for me, I won't be able to offer him or my daughter the things that they need if they're going to have an opportunity to play at the next level. And I recognize that, but I can do it now. So,
what position does Aiden play?
Aiden, his primary position is catcher.
Cool.
And then he plays shortstop as well. He's really skilled defensively, and he's a good hitter. So on our team right now, he leads the team in hitting. He's got like a 600 batting average. He's got like a 750 on base percentage. Wow. He's not the fastest kid out there, but he leads the team in stolen bases because he's a very smart base runner. So he knows how to read pitchers. He's got a very, very high baseball IQ. So he understands the game, and he's got impeccable leadership skills, and that translates to the kids on the team. He's kind of the one that everybody looks to get on going. So, and he embraces that role, so that's cool. So he's 13, 8th grader, and that's kind of his passion of things. He's gotten very involved. Last year was the first year that he could really get involved heavily in his youth group at church.
Nice.
And so cool. Where do you guys go to church at?
So we recently have started going to Five Forks Methodist.
Okay.
So we were members at Advent United Methodist, and when they went through their kind of split up or whatever, we ended up at Five Forks Methodist, and he's kind of embraced that group of guys and girls that is a part of that there, and he just went through confirmation last year, so he got confirmed, and I think he's technically the only member of the church there because we've not shifted our membership over, but he is a member of Five Forks Methodist.
I like that.
So he's our kind of our leader of that. So he'll go to Malden High School next year, 9th grader.
So cool.
And then my daughter Beckett, she's my baby.
Great name.
And
I love that name.
She is a fireball, and so she is in the 6th grade this year. She just started at Riverside Middle School, and her big passion is she's a softball player.
Ooh.
And she is
an amazing softball
very
player.
talented one. Yes,
really?
She is, and she is fiercely competitive as well. I mean, she is a take no prisoners type of ball player.
Yes.
And so it's so cool to watch because she is she is a free spirit for most things, and you'll see her out kind of dancing around and doing her thing before the game. But when she walks between the chalk and they say play ball, there is a switch that goes off.
That's fun.
That's fun.
And she locks in, and you can see the focus, and she takes no prisoners. And it's like, you're my friend until we get in there, and I am going to bury you.
Yes.
And that's what she does. And she, to date, I mean, she plays she plays 10 and 12U softball because of her birthday. But at the 10U level, she's a pitcher. And at the 10U level, she's a very good one. She is she's had a lot of success. But she's a very good hitter too. She leads her team in hitting and in on base percentage. And
Man,
bases.
you got these
so much talent.
She is
freak athletes.
I
over
want
here.
you to send me some of the videos that you showed me on
so
your
we
phone
can. So
of
we can.
her,
I will.
so we can pop them in here.
Yeah.
I'm like so proud of your kids. Like,
Man.
I have too. They are something else. So that's been a joy to watch, and for Nicole and I, it's a lot of fun because we get to see that, and I'll be honest, from my perspective, I really do think I do. I have gotten more joy out of watching my kids compete in sports
than
anything I ever did. And I never understood that. I remember my dad telling me that. I never got it until I got into it. And the thing is that I after so many years of watching Jonah, and part of it with Jonah, I didn't understand his sport.
Right, yeah.
So I loved it because I was not only watching him compete, and I could see the passion he had, but I was learning as well, right? Because it was something new to me. But with these two, this was my sport, right? So this was what I was passionate about, and what I've realized is when I played, it was like I hated to lose more than I loved to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so focused on that piece of it that I think I missed the joy of the game.
Yeah.
I get the joy now, and I see it. And as the parent, you have to be there to pick them up when they're down, and when things don't go well and they're in tears after the game, you've got to be the one there to hug them and let them know everything's okay, and you're going to come back, and it's going to be there again. But you get to experience the joy of the moment, and that's a different thing than being in the middle of it. And it's funny, you watch these documentaries of these athletes that have done it at the highest level, and you hear the guys like Jordan and Jeter and all those guys talk about how they hated to lose more than they loved to win. And you even hear them talk about that stuff. And I didn't certainly compete at that level, but that's the feeling that's there. And when you get to see your kids do it, it's kind of different.
Yeah.
And so
I think it's cool too, because I feel like, we talk about this and working out here at the gym, how there's so many things that like benefit you in that area, whether it be working out in the gym or whether it be on the ball field for your kiddos, that can have like an impact in your life outside of the ball field, whether it be like in the school or in relationships or in life in general. It kind of teaches you to persevere, and it teaches you that you may not, hit every ball, you may not catch every ball, you may not win every game, so to speak, but like you keep persevering and you get better through those different challenges. And so I think it's cool that you get to watch your kids kind of develop some of those characteristics that's amazing to see on the ball field, but then they can carry those with them throughout other areas of their lives too. Yeah,
you do. And you see that because even their performance in school, it was the same with Jonah, with Aiden, with Beckett, and I think I've heard statistics before, and I certainly don't know what the specificity is of them, but that typically athletes tend to do better in school than non-athletes, and I think that's part of it. Is you do learn to persevere, and you don't necessarily get sit down. You get a bad grade in school, it's a moment of disappointment, but you got to come back and work, and you've got to overcome those disappointments and things like that, and that's a big deal. And I think in many sports, I know the ones specifically the one that my two kids are playing right now, they're games of failure, right? Like the best players that have ever played the game are successful 30% of the time, and so 70% of the time you fail.
Yeah.
And so you've got to overcome that, and that's something that you have to keep going with. So.
Well, what's cool too to even hear it is, it's obvious that you are an important figure in your kids' lives as you're just kind of supporting them, even just in that mode of just supporting them as they compete and as they go through, like you said, the roller coaster of emotions. But question for you though is, who was the most important figure in your life growing up?
The most important human in my life growing up was probably my dad. And he was my role model. I'm an only child, and he was the one that I looked to. I was the kid that followed my dad around all the time, and I wanted to be just like him. And that persevered through to what I did as a career. And I didn't, almost to the point that I didn't know any better. It was, my dad was a manufacturing guy. He did it for, he had a degree from Clemson. So I grew up, that's where I go to school. I didn't know there was another option. I mean, to be honest with you, and the story of that goes is that when I was finishing at Wade Hampton, I was not some kind of like heavily recruited athlete, but I had a couple of schools that wanted me to come play baseball. But none of them were Clemson, right? And
That's
so,
funny.
and so, I had an offer from a local school around here, and they came and they gave me all this paperwork after a baseball game one day. I remember this, and I brought it home and I had it on the kitchen table. And my dad was like, "Well, what is that?" I was like, "Well, that's the application form for so university." And he's like, "Oh, yeah. I was like, "They want me to come, potentially be a pitcher there and all this stuff." And I was
So
like, "Oh."
cool.
And he was like, "Oh, great. And so, he left it there. I left it there. And a couple of days later, he comes home and it's in the garbage. And he was like, "What did you do with that?" I was like, "Well, I'm not going to school there. I'm going to Clemson." And
That's so funny.
And so, that was important to me because it was, and I wasn't going to be a professional baseball player. At least I don't think I was going to be. And, and so the reality is that was something that was kind of a family transition or a family tradition. And then, of course, Jonah got a degree there, and we'll see what the other ones. But he was always present and supportive, and for me that meant a lot because he was the one that taught me how to do that, right? And I think even through the times now, we tried to figure out how to be parents with Jonah. And he's alive, and
he is, and well,
he's very productive and very successful. And so,
funny.
I don't know, maybe we did it by accident, but I think some of that I learned that from my parents, and my dad specifically was a very positive role model for me.
Well, shout out to all the present and supportive dads. You guys are amazing.
The world needs better dads.
Yes, 100%. So let's inspire and support that. So you talked about your dad being an inspiration for you growing up. What do you feel like drives you or inspires you, like in your current day and age?
Well, there's a lot of things, and I mean, first and foremost, and I hadn't talked about her much, but Nicole, my wife,
Shout out Nicole.
She's the rock, right? She's the one that like. She's supportive of everything that I've done, and I try to do the same for her. I mean, I hope I do. But I mean, she's steadfast, and whether times are good or times are tough, she's there through it all. And she, when I do get down, she's the pick me up. She's like, you need to, and sometimes it's tough love, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and frankly, the reason I'm here is because of her, and
Cool.
and
She was the one who got you into CrossFit.
yeah. So and it's funny because this is when the gym was up the street, right? Up on the thing, and I used to see the people running up and down the street and all this other stuff.
So many people say that
And
running down into the Bilo parking lot.
Into the Bilo parking lot, and I'd come home and I'd gone to sports club and done other things, and Nicole would hear me talk about it. I'm like, I should go up there and do that. And she's done this to me a couple times. It's a good done this to me. I went to graduate school because Nicole was tired of hearing me say I'm going to go to graduate school.
That's funny.
And I was on a business trip, and literally I was on a business trip. I came home and she had an application package.
That's amazing.
Laid out to Penn State, and she said, fill it out or stop talking about it.
Oh,
and I was like, okay, filled it out. I got accepted. I went. Same thing here.
Awesome.
So I can't recall if it was for my birthday or for Christmas. It was for something.
That's funny.
She called up and ended up talking to Caleb when he was one of the trainers here.
Yeah.
And she bought me the personal training, and that was back when we used to have to do Fight Gone Bad as our transition into the gym, right? And so Caleb did all my personal training. But
take a picture of you with your score
and
post it on the group.
That was your thing?
That was the thing.
That was the thing. And
I hate that workout. That would have made me leave.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but Joel, I've probably never showed you a picture of me then. But there was a good reason I needed to go to CrossFit because I was
a lot of weight.
Way
Here, we'll show a
out of
picture.
shape, way overweight.
How much weight have you lost?
Total. From then to I think I weighed almost 230 pounds then, and I was
That's
way
as much as I weigh right now.
Yeah, when you see the picture, my kids called me an eggplant Like now, not then. Not
Okay,
then,
I was about to say, so mean.
Now.
You're being a present dad to them, like, shut up, eggplant.
Yeah. And so, but anyway, I was not and I was not in good shape. It wasn't just that I was overweight; I was just not in good shape. And Nicole had heard me talk about it, and so she got me signed up, and I came and I loved it. And then she followed suit not long after that, and then Jonah followed suit not long after that.
And she works out at 5:30 or 6:30?
6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, she's in your classes.
And she, I mean, for me, she's an inspiration in here too. She's quite impressive. She was the first one of us that ever climbed a rope.
That's so cool.
And I would try, I wouldn't do it. And I remember it that she came. We were in here one Saturday morning, and she had been working on it. And Nicole is very, very unassuming. She doesn't.
Yes.
As you guys know, she doesn't draw attention to herself.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to draw attention
Very
to herself.
humble.
Right.
But she just does things. It's just like plow
Yeah.
through. And I remember we were here on a Saturday. I don't even remember what the workout was. And I turn around, she's up at the top of the rope.
I didn't know you could do that.
And she at the time was working out a lot with Lee Randall and Mandy. We're all in that
Yeah.
class.
Yep.
And they were there that day too. It might have been coming out of COVID or something because we were all here on a Saturday. And all of a sudden I hear Lee Randall going, "You go, girl," or whatever. And I turn around, look, and she's up there. And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, she's up at the top of the rope. She
Wow.
just did
Look
it."
at my wife.
And so, right. And so I was like, we're high fiving it. And I'm like, I guess I got to figure out how to do that now.
There
Right?
you
That's
go.
amazing.
And so, and I'll tell you, and I mean, she's much further along on muscle ups than I am, and all these other movements that I mean, is to me to see it. It just, it help. I hope we drive each other, but certainly
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fact that even. I used to do the 5:30 class. I don't much anymore. But for her, I mean, both of us. There's days that I know she wakes up and she's like, we were out late the night before with the kids, or somebody had a lot of homework, or
Yeah.
the dogs. The kids don't get up in the middle of the night anymore. But we got
Must be nice.
a couple of labs, and sometimes I get sick and we're up in the middle of the night. But
Oh,
then
yeah.
whatever happens, and she's like, I don't feel like going today,
Yeah,
but I'm going.
yeah.
And for me, that's a driver. That's an
Yeah.
inspiration. It's like, you know what? You just got to drive through. So,
Yeah.
so for that, that inspires me. I talked about my kids. That inspired. I say inspires me. That's a motivator for
Yeah.
me because, I did see, some of the things that you had kind of prepped me about, motivation and discipline, things like that. But motivation for me is longevity. I won't go into a lot of detail about this, but I spent a long period of my life deeply enthralled in some very bad habits that were just very unhealthy, and I probably took myself to the brink of health that might not have kept me above ground for a long period of time. And I know
Yeah.
that's kind of morbid, but I think it's the truth. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I needed to change those habits. This place helps, right? That
Yeah.
you got a supportive community of people who don't really care what your background is, what the
Right,
changes
right,
are. They're
yeah.
supportive of any change you're going to make.
Yeah.
But for me, it's longevity for my children. It's for me, I need to see Jonah get married when that's the choice he makes. I need to be a part
Yeah,
of his
I love
kids'
that.
lives and
For
be a
sure.
granddad, and I need to see my middle son through everything he's going
I
to
love
do,
that
so
and I
much.
have to be able to walk that girl down the aisle,
Aw,
right?
I'm gonna cry.
That's part of it for me. But the
So
other part of it for me is that Nicole and I have spent most of our adult lives parenting, and for me, I got to be there on the back end so that we get the joy of what's on the back end of that together, right? Because
a very good point.
To enjoy the fruits of our labor, right? And there is I got to see the back end of that with my parents before my mom passed, and I want to be able to have
Yeah.
that with her as well. And in the whole scheme of things, I mean, it's not that terribly long away. I mean, my daughter is 11, so
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
it's
Yeah.
10 years,
Yeah. It's
roughly,
Crazy
right?
to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be hobbling around, right? You don't want to be doing that.
No, what do they say? I'd rather be the oldest guy in the gym than the youngest guy in the nursing home, right?
There you
That's
go.
what I'm talking
That's
about.
good.
Yep.
I love, Cary, that you were like open and honest and transparent about admitting like I didn't always make the right decisions, and there was a period of time in my life where if I kept going down that track, like it was going to result in something pretty terrible, and
Yeah.
possibly not being around to see my kids grow up. And Joel,
Yeah. I have this
He's-
effect on people,
yeah,
Joel.
he needs
A lot
to
of people get choked up. around
taking
me,
a
Joel.
second over there.
It's such a
You choking on your water?
Yes, wrong.
You need to go to the restroom?
No, that won't be. Actually, that'd be bad. Anyway, sorry, keep going. Yes, he's so sweet.
I think it's important that. I think it's very important that men and women, as leaders of our family, leaders in our community, as, believers, people in general, I feel like it's really important for us to be willing to be transparent and say, I used to struggle with this. I used to struggle with this. And this is how I got out of that.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm at now. And a big part of that for you, you've mentioned is being involved in the gym community.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so what is maybe one thing that you most look forward to or maybe one of your favorite things about getting to come to the gym, every day or so often throughout the week? What is
my
something that you most look forward
100%
to?
without a doubt favorite thing is the people.
Yeah.
It's the people. It's the people I work out with. And look, I love going to all the classes because I'm very much, always have been. I'm a people person from the time I was a little guy. Like I was the guy that never met a stranger. I walk up into anybody and say hello and want to get to know them, and I do that now. I mean, I'm a sales. My career, I'm a sales guy, and so the reason I enjoy that so much is because I get to meet lots of people and lots of different walks of life, and I get to learn about them.
Yeah.
And I care about people. It's important to me to see people thrive and do well, whether I barely know you or you're a close personal friend. I want to see people do well.
Yeah.
So here, I just love being around the people, and I've got a very close inner circle group of friends that know me better than anyone else.
Uh-huh.
I am transparent. I'm not shy to tell people my story, and I don't hide it. I mean, I'm very open about the struggles that I've had, and I'm okay with that because my view of that is I lived through that, and what I've chosen. If I did it again, would I choose to do it differently? Yes, but I learned a lot from it. And I'm open about it because if I can help somebody else not go through those same struggles, I prefer to do that because I would not prefer others to have to go through some of the challenges that I put on myself, and it was all on myself. So, but there is a group of people here that are that I'm much closer to than others, and this is kind of my oasis with them, right? It's a place I get to leave everything else that goes on in life.
I love that.
And I get to be with them, and we do things outside of here too. But they're my they're part of what I call my 2 a.m. friends, right? There's people that I'm going to call at 2 in the morning if I need them, and
so
I know
cool.
they're going to say yes.
Yeah.
And if we've got an emergency or the chips are down or something needs to happen and I know I need somebody, those are people who I'm going to call. And there's a couple of people like that to me that don't live here. I've got a few friends like that live up in the Lehigh Valley that are
nice.
very close to me. There's a few friends I have like that are in the Charlotte area that are former very close college friends of mine, and I've got one friend like that lives in Brevard that she and I grew up together from the time we were very little. But I'd say I've got less than 10 people that I put in that category like that in my life, and probably half of those 10 are here.
Oh.
Tracy,
That's cool.
Carrie, Chris.
Well, he's Cary.
You can,
Not Carrie. Sorry, Clay.
I mean, you can name most of them.
Yeah.
I think so. And I will say, having coached and worked out with the noon class, it's a great group of people.
Yeah.
It really is.
But there's a couple of people in the other classes too, because I was very, very, very involved in the 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
group.
I don't know how you people do that.
And so,
You're insane.
but it's but that's my favorite part here. Now, learning to do things it's important to me to come and do these things because especially as I get older, it still proves to me that I can do hard things.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
I was telling somebody the other day. In fact, not somebody. I told Nicole when I did it. I was so excited. So when I first I was telling Tracy the other day. So I was telling him because we were doing bench presses, and when I came here in 2019, I could not bench press one single time 135 pounds.
Wow.
Not once. And
What did you do for the 8? Is that what you're about to say?
no, not the 8. But the last time we went through, it might have been a 2 rep.
Yeah.
But I was
like
actually
6'4"
working
too.
out with David Block. It's a 6:30 class. It was still in the summer.
Yeah.
And we were just running weight up. I didn't even know how much was on the bar, so we just kept going until we failed. And I failed the last one, and I put it up, and I said, "Oh, David, how much we do?" And he goes, he said 235. And I said,
"Oh my gosh, 100."
I think I was there for that day.
Do what?
Yeah, you did a ton of weight.
235. And I said, David, I've only ever done 225 one time, and I barely got it, and I did 235 twice.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And so I left here, and I called Nicole, and I was like, you're not going to I did 225 pounds, And so stuff like that, and
that's amazing.
It's just, there's lots of things though. Those things are inspiring, and Ashley, I know you and I have gotten to work out a lot together, and I've told you this before, so this isn't going to be new, but it's cool to me to be able to like work out with you when you work out, because for me, like, the fact that you're a physically strong woman,
very strong,
is a big deal, because
strong.
That's a big deal for me when I'm coaching my daughter too, because she's a strong girl, right? And she gets done up and she does her thing.
Yeah.
But it makes me be able to go back and like, I'll tell her when you're like, please tell her that I'm proud of her and stuff like that, because Ashley got to coach her son in the CrossFit Kids when they did that, so she got. And because when Aiden and them were in there, but I mean that's important, and so for me to be able to see that, and to see Nicole do it, to be that role model for Beckett as well, those things are really, really important, because I think it is important, and so I think it's just such a healthy community.
So we'd like to ask everyone, kind of last question is, what do you feel like you've been learning right now? And it doesn't have to be, it could be with your faith, it could be in the gym, it could be in work, but what's something that you're just like really jazzed about right now that you just have been learning?
That's a good question. That's a tough question.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think an ongoing thing for me are learning related to faith, and it's not a specific thing related to a Bible verse or anything like that. But I think it's the constant reminder in my life that when you are working to do things to make things better for others, that your life is just better. I think that, and I think that's an ongoing learning for me all the time, and it rings true over and over, because I think by nature, I know for me, I don't know how it is for everybody else, but for me, the easy place to go back to, and maybe this is part of being an only child, but the easy part to go back to is a selfish place, right? Is me first, and that kind of, that piece, but I try to resist that, and as I've gotten older, I've further tried to resist that and try to make sure I'm putting others first. The reality is, when you put others first, it all comes back to you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the joy in it isn't that it comes back to you, right? And for me, I can tell when I'm around people who are doing things for others for their own benefit. Yeah. Like you can sniff that out. Yeah. But I think that's an ongoing thing for me. The learning is the joy in being able to contribute and do things that are betterment for others. It is probably that ongoing learning. And I think from a personal learning perspective, it's continuing to try to do things to learn how to be more healthy and do things for myself. I mean, I talk about my unhealthy habits, but the specificity of that is that I quit drinking roughly 3 years ago, and that was a very bad habit for me. And it was tough coming out of that, because I thought my life would change. It did. Yeah. It did for a very positive reason. But I spent a long time in that world, and I didn't realize, and I am constantly learning how the bad habits in life don't define who you are. Yeah, amen. And that you can be yourself without those things as a crutch to go into. I mean, I just came back from a business meeting, and it was I'm a sales guy, right? And so I am in an environment to where alcohol is a very big part of what goes on every day. Yeah. I'm very far beyond having any kind of temptation or desire. It's not a big deal. But again, this week, it was a learning for me, because I was at a business dinner last night with some prospective partners and clients, and I left there back to my hotel room, kind of get my stuff together to leave this morning, and I had a kind of an aha moment. I was like, I was like, I was as comfortable, if not more comfortable, being myself and in my element of those things, to where it used to be that I felt like I needed that crutch to take me to that next kind of ease level. And it's like, and I'm always learning about that kind of side of,
That's so cool.
how can you get better at the things that you do? And I'd say that's probably it for me
That's
right
a great
now.
answer.
I mean, I know that that's not kind of groundbreaking, but that's kind of what it is for me.
It's a great answer. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you for sharing
And
that,
thank you
Carrie.
for being on the podcast.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yes,
This was fun.
absolutely.
You were fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
was just going to say, it's really inspiring to see like a family man, setting the example, setting the precedent, like working through some things himself, but then being so inspiring and seeing you, like, it always makes me so happy when you are bragging on any of your kids or your wife. Like, just the way that you light up talking about them is so amazing.
Oh,
and
well,
it's
thank
so
you.
inspiring. And there's something super like impactful and powerful about a man that just loves his family and loves his family well. And
Amen.
you do just that.
He's also a very
Thank you.
good piano player.
Yeah. You're a piano player?
You didn't
I
know
am.
that?
I did not know that.
I don't
yeah.
know that I would call myself good anymore,
Oh my
but
gosh.
I am. I played for a long time. I do have a piano, a very poorly tuned piano, which Joel knows. We've talked about this. I need to do something about
Makes
it.
me
But
so upset to hear.
I know. The last time I kind of broke it out was, and that's another, actually, last thing. That was a good story. So when Nicole and I were dating, we each owned our own homes, and she was going to school. She was finishing school at the time, and she would come over on Friday evening, and she would bring. This was when we lived in Hanover. She would bring. There's a lot of local butchers in Hanover, by the way, like local butchers that you know,
Oh, yeah.
straight off the farm, and so she would always bring steaks over for us to grill out. And it was my favorite night of the week. I was like, Nicole's coming over for steaks, but she would study. And I would stick something I would stick a CD in the stereo back when CDs were there, and I would try to play it on the piano.
That's fun.
And so that's what I would do. And
so
so when COVID hit, and I've still got a picture of it on my phone. When COVID hit, I was trying to teach my daughter. My daughter loves music, and I was trying to teach her to play the piano. And Nicole took a picture of she and I at the piano, and her
We're gonna
little
post that up
caption was, this is. Like, I can't remember the exact words, but basically, when we were dating, he used to play for me, and now he's playing for a different love or something like that. But it was really cool. And so
Everyone's heartstrings just got.
it was awesome. And
So
we
sweet.
said it. We tried to learn different things. And I remember the song I was trying I printed out the music because I couldn't quite get it because my piano's out of tune. And so I printed out the music of Bruno Mars's God, what song? The "Used to Be Your Man" or whatever that
Yeah,
song
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Right. And I was trying to teach my daughter that song, and that was what my wife took a picture of, and so it was
so
pretty
sweet.
cool.
Please
Yeah.
send that.
Yes.
If I can
my
find it, I will. I
goodness.
think I've got it.
That
somewhere.
is just
So,
the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of memories that's going to stick with her forever.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
come
yes.
like play such a huge role as she continues to grow into like her teenage years. And like that is so impactful, Cary. Like seriously, thank you for being that kind of father, that kind of man, that kind of family man. Like you and Nicole and your whole family are just amazing.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Oh man, I'm gonna cry. That's so sweet.
You've almost cried 6 times.
It's sweet and it's inspiring and it's powerful and it's awesome, and families and family men need to be celebrated, and I am just it's awesome. Yes.
Jazzed
Oh,
today.
thank you. Thank
Love
you.
it. Well, thank you everyone for listening to Cary.
Yes.
Please remember, share, like, subscribe, and Cary, you were a joy to have on the podcast.
You
Oh, thank you.
absolutely
I had
are.
a-
Seriously,
this
you
is
were like
fun.
fantastic.
Yeah.
For the first time
This
being
was
on a
good.
podcast, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like it was not.
Oh, thank
Oh
you.
my goodness,
Thank
you did so amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
All right,
coming
y'all.
on.
Bye.
Thanks,
See ya.
guys. See you next time.
Bye.